Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. We got another after party on our hands here. You just heard the mid-tempo and synthwave episode. You all helped put that one together. I hope you all enjoyed it. Literally every single track that was put in there, besides maybe a couple, all got formatted through the Discord discussion, through what was on chat here in Twitch. Yeah, y'all picked them. Hope you liked it. Today on the after party, and in preparation for Best of 2023, right? Because it's almost here. We're at the end of November. That's terrifying to say. I don't know where this year went, but we're getting close. Right around the corner. And I can't say too much about what's going on this year. You'll find out in due time. Be patient with me. But I want to go through some of the old album mix intros, because we're going to be needing to make another one for Best of 2023. So might as well see what came before. And yeah, I found some of the project files. I think one of them from Best of 2021, one of them from Call of the Wild 400. And I'm just going to show you how we made them. Really straightforward. And if you have any questions, I'm right here. I'll answer most of them. Some of them I got to keep secret just for me. But yeah, let's get into this. We got Ableton here. Wow, look at that. Crazy. Here's the project file. So this is Best of 2021. And a little preface on this, right? I'm not going to say like rule is, but the tradition is to open the Best of mix with the highest ranked song of the year. But this was the first year that we also had Silk included. And since Instinct was also there, I wanted to be able to celebrate the 3 top tracks from each of those labels. So we have Glow from Shingo Nakamura, we have Ghost in the Machine from Trivecta, and we have Pixel Terror, Chime, and Temanite with Sleepless. That's what we made. So, I mean, if you haven't heard it, I'll play it first. Here's what it sounds like, and then I'll show you how we made it. All right, everybody strapped in. You got some water ready to go? This can be a little loud. Here it is.
Maybe I'm colorblind. Don't know where I lost the colors. I only see black and white. Come to think of it. But it all comes back when the moon gets low, dancing in the afterglow. When the room starts spinning and my eyes are closed, feeling like I'm not alone. 'Cause there's a voice in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. I put it all under the sheets, and then I dream that you're killing me.
So yeah, that was the intro. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think that one's really fun. So how did we do this? But first, I see a couple questions in chat here. This is your first time here. How long are these usually? Kazooie, they're about 30 minutes. Long enough for you to get tired of me by the end of it. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. So yeah, we started with the pianos from Glow, and you see I did a lot with the stems here. And this was mainly just to be able to take the stems that we had and transition them into the Sleepless style where it's more dubsteppy, right? So we have this intro, some nice piano. All I did here is I just reversed the piano a few times so that I could elongate that piano sound, because normally it would just sound like this. It would be the drop off. So I just wanted to make it really airy. Just play that one note, because you hear the opening to Glow, and you know that note. It's this. Boom. The other tricky part was that these songs were in very different keys and very different BPMs, right? So, for your knowledge, Shingo Nakamura's Glow was in G flat major or E flat minor. We have Ghost in the Machine, which was in D major at 128 BPM, and then Pixel Terror Chime and Sleepless, which is in F minor at 150. You can't just put those on top of each other, so you got to pitch it. So I decided that the drop of this intro was going to be Sleepless, and so I just made everything match that key. So we raised up Shingo Nakamura's Glow, if it shows up here, raised that 2 steps, right? So we went from E flat minor to F minor. Now we're in the same key. And then I did something very similar for Ghost in the Machine, but that's a bit of a tricky one that we'll get into in a second. Hey, Chrissy, I miss you too. It's good to have you here. Polytonal mixing is the new wave. Just, oh, Shero, no. No, don't do that. That hurts my ears. No. We mix in key here. That's the only way to do it. So just taking the Glow elements, this is what that part of the intro sounds like. We have the overlapping pianos. And this is the top part, so this is higher. That's it, +2, and then I have the same thing playing down below at -10, so that I can get higher frequencies and lower frequencies, and it just sounds a bit more full. And, I mean, this is what that sounds like. Ooh, a bit more airy. Ooh, getting a little edgy there. And then Ghost in the Machine comes in. This was a tricky one. This was before I had stems for a lot of the tracks, so I had to make it myself. Good news is, Ghost in the Machine has the part at the beginning where it's just the vocals, right? It sounds like this. So I just grabbed that. Obviously, I pitched it down -6. Yeah. Going from D major into F minor is a pretty tricky one, because they're 6 semitones away from each other. And the max you can go is 12 before you're in the same key. So it's about as far away as it could be. So I pitched down the beginning vocals, but then later I pitched it down 6 just to grab this part, right? So it's a bit more airy. And then the underlying, just giving it that little format shift there. And that's basically the beginning, right? It's just the melody from Glow. It's just the vocals from Ghost in the Machine. We're not trying to do too much. We're just trying to grab your attention. So goes, add in some drums, right? It's always good to have some orchestral drums. These weren't from any of the 3 tracks. I just added them in myself. Here is how good I am at programming drums. I put a few in there. Yeah? Yeah, just a few. I'm not great at drum mixing, and that's why I leave it to the professionals. And as you see here, we have the full stems for Sleepless, and I just grabbed all of the drums and just said, yeah, we're putting those in there. That's how it's going to sound. Build up kick, build up snare, claps, easy. Now, I think my favorite part about this mashup, if you want to call it a mashup intro, whatever you feel like, is if you listen to the vocals from Trivecta's Ghost in the Machine, right, it goes like this. Yeah, so that last part is I only see you when you go to sleep. Well, good news. Sleepless's top line right before the drop. Can I even find it? Where is it? We'll just play the whole thing. It sounds like this. A little play with words there, and it all fits together very nicely. Only see you when I go to sleep, but you can't sleep, and then boom, bass hit, we got him. So yeah, that one was really fun. Obviously, I just added in some effects here from Sleepless just to tie it all in. That plays over the main intro portion. In terms of EQ work, there's not a lot going on here. We just have the intro from Ghost in the Machine. I cut out the low end of the lows, gave it a little peak in that mid region just so that the vocals could stand out a little bit more. On the little drum loops I have, there's literally no EQ. There's nothing here. I didn't touch it. It's just some nice war drums. Added in with some more orchestral snares. No EQ. This was kind of just drop stuff in, and it worked. That doesn't happen very often, which is nice. And yeah, all together, you just get the nice build-ups. Some FX just to bring it all together. And yeah, that's how straightforward this one was. I think for those of you that don't know, right, we get best of on a Friday. That's when all of the tracks, the voting ends. Our amazing tech team compiles everything together, and I have the track list by the end of the day on that Friday. I have to get a mix out by Tuesday for you all to be able to hear it by the release date. So I have a very small window to make these, and obviously an intro takes some time. So I couldn't spend too much time on it, but I am really happy with how it turned out. Pretty basic, not, like I said, not much going on here, but just enough for you to get the feeling of all three labels into one. We go into the mix, and then you get to hear them all in there. Wait, have they always been released on Fridays? I don't know about always, but since I've been working here, yes. So for a few years now. Was it just me mixing this? Yes, it was just me. They gave me the tracks and said, good luck. Give us a mix. And I said, aye, here we go. So yeah, it was just me working on these mixes. Last year was Duality. He made the whole mix. I made the intro. And this year will be me again. So I'm looking forward to making it. It's always a fun time. Do you all have any questions on this project? Because otherwise we can get into the Call of Wild 400, where we had a lot more going on. Who made the mixes before you joined Monster Cat? That's a great question. And I think there's a few people that have made them over the years. I'm not sure who made specific ones, but I know Dan mixed them. Going Quantum mixed them. Fairlane, I think, mixed them. Other people. But now it's me. You're stuck with me, Sky Guy. Yeah. Would Holy make it? No, Holy was not released in the year 2023, so it is not eligible to be voted on for Best of 2023, unfortunately, but I understand that is going to upset some people. This was back in the day before I could just like upload tracks into an AI stem splitter. This is the best I could do. It's not great, but in the midst of everything, you can't really tell. Can you vote for it anyways? No, unfortunately, you cannot vote for it anyways. Can I sing in the shower? Yes. My pipes, I let them loose in the shower, but past that, I don't get on the mic too much to sing. Maybe we'll change that. All right, so we've got Call of the Wild 400. You ready? I'm going to hit save. Remember, whenever you're closing out of a project, hit that save button. Always a good idea. Shower stream? No, not a chance. Not a chance. Do I usually split up these longer mixes in separate project files? Like, was this always made as just a project file for the intro and the rest of the mix was made separately? Yes. So if I'm making more complex mashups, or an intro or something, I will split that out into a separate project. I like to keep my mixing projects with individual tracks and occasionally load in stems. But if I'm starting to stack like 4 or 5 stems or very different parts of songs together, I'll throw it out into another project and then export from there, drop it into the main hierarchy project file and work that way. I treat it very similarly to coding styles, where like if you have a line of code that you're going to run a lot, put it into a function and call on it later. That's the way that I do that. Let's see, what is missing? Some plugins. Oh yeah, it's an older project, so obviously I'm going to be missing some plugins. That checks out. Yes, I am a nerd. What gave that away? All right, so this is the Call of the Wild 400 intro. If you were there for it, Obviously, thank you for celebrating that milestone with us. 500 is, I check my watch, like that's going to help it all. Today was 480. We're only 20 episodes away. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. But again, I love mixing intros because that's the first thing people hear in a mix. I know, crazy that the intro of a mix is the first thing that people hear. Wild. But I just want people to get an idea of the direction that the mix is going from the beginning. And the best way that I can do that is to make my own. So that's what we did here with Call of the Wild 400. I wanted to show off some drum and bass, some drum step, some old melodies that you might remember, some community sound bites, some artist sound bites. It was many ideas being compiled into one thing. So I took the bass track of Justin O's Remember This. Incredible transition track, if you want to call that, in the middle of the album. And I layered in the Dreamer piano, this little guy here. Just for some airiness, another memorable melody that you know. Don't forget the Call of the Wild 10-year anniversary next year. Yes, thanks. It's on my calendar. It is. Is it every 100 episodes you post on YouTube? It depends on how special the episode is. But I hope that we can get 500 posts on YouTube. It's always fun. So we had this really long part at the beginning where Dan and I came on and talked to you all. But the very beginning part is fun, right? You ready? You ready for this? Here we go. I bet none of y'all picked up on that in the episode. Probably no one did, but I made it anyways. I like that little stutter effect, and then it all comes together with the nice orchestral, just... Yeah, oh, it's good. So we talk over Dreamer and Remember This for some time, and then we bring in the community and artist sound bites. Now, if you see here, there's a lot going on, but there's a purpose to it. So this top one is panned 50L, which means it's as far in your left headphone as you can. And I'm trying to look at the screen here. This is the left. This is my right, but this is stage left. Yeah, man, I'm killing it. So we have this all on the left. Then we have some that are here, some that are in the middle, some that are here, and then some that are on the far right. And if you listen to it all, it might come through on Twitch. Hopefully it does, because it should be stereo. But this is what they all sound like, interspersed all throughout the little space here.
Hey everyone, this is Grabbits. Steel walking here. Hey guys, this is Axel Rift. This is AU5.
And you can see it in my little spectrogram here.
This is Mike. This is
It's all
Alex.
panning all around.
Hey guys, this is Lazo here.
This is Trivecta.
So yeah, there were a lot of those. We layered that on top of Remember This, so it just gets very emotional off the beginning. There we go. And you can hear it. It pans. It all goes around. And of course, you remember the last project file, we had this exact same war drum loop. Remember how I said I use effect samples all the time in my mixes? Hey, this is another one that shows up quite often. I just like it. Yeah, it's cool. And so I use that as the build-up because Remember This doesn't have a build-up. It's kind of just its own track and then it ends. But I wanted to make it big. I wanted to make it hit. So then we grabbed stems from She's a Killer Part 2. We remade the melody from Brocken's To the Stars. Breakin' Brocken, I don't know. It's one of those. And then added some chords in my own. And it all just kind of comes together. And then I grabbed the melody from Space Boy, put that on top of the drum and bass section, and it all comes together into one happy little package. So, how did I do this? Well, we have this little ARP from She's a Killer, Part 2. It's nice. I just use that as some background ambience in the drop. And then we have the To the Stars MIDI. Here's lead 1. lead 2 to give it a little bit more on that higher end. Nice, cool. And then the third one, gritty. And then finally I added just a little through note that would match up with the chord, just so that you can get that. And finally, this last little layer, probably my favorite part of this whole thing. Right, so it's a darker tone, but then I also counterpointed the melody. So if you hear, this is what the normal notes. But then with this, I think I either pitched it down a harmonic third or something like that. And so it gives it layering now, and all together, we have this beast of a lead. And then with that added counterpoint, you'll hear it. Here it comes. Just adds that grit. Finally, you might not have known this, but Grant makes an appearance in this. We got a little sample from Constellations. I literally just used it as the background. It sounds like this. I know for a fact none of you knew that was in there. I know. You cannot convince me otherwise, but it was there the whole time. So all I did there is just added a car garage reverb, cut out the lows, shelved the highs, and you'll hear it in the background when I play it now that I've pointed it out to you. Just adds a little bit more texture to the overall song. Then we come to the pads, right? So this is the original basic pads, and that's, I'm not calling them basic. That is what the file name is. Don't come at me. Don't do it. This is what it sounds like from She's a Killer Part 2. Sounds nice, but I wanted it to be a bit grittier, so I added my own pads on top of it. And then we add in the bass, and that is where we get the oomph from. And also, they went crazy with the automation on this bass. It's so cool. Love that. Love that. And then, obviously, we just add in the drums. This little guy here, this is just a MIDI send to my sidechain channel. Remember that. That'll be important later. Cool. I'll come back to that in a second. Then from there, I sampled the drums from She's a Killer Part 2, so I just kept the percussion the same. Added in my own kick. This one, nice little one from Affinity. Affinity makes a little cameo in this as well. Bet you didn't know that, but he does. Added some crash cymbals, some build-ups. All in all, it just sounds like this. A normal drum pattern. Easy. You don't need much. You don't need much. And then for the actual drop, not the pre-drop, I just went back to the original drums from She's a Killer Part 2 and added some effects in there just to make it whoosh and easy. Yeah, Shadow Butchko, easy. Some risers. What else did I put in here? What is this? Small riser. Just into the kicks. Man, I'm really proud of myself for that one. I didn't even realize that I added that. Finally, you just have some glitch samples right before the heavy drop. Some drums. And all together, sounds big and strong.
The Moscat family. I don't know if you can hear me or if you're listening. Okay, so remember
this. The last little texture part is I added the vocals from She's a Killer. So it's just those wah, ooh, da, wah. Yeah, just adds a bit more. And then we go into the vocals from Space Boy and the lead from Space Boy just to tie it all in, and we're out. There's that little Grant thing again, still there. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey Josh, I'm looking up at mini meters over here and I see that this track is not very loud in comparison to other tracks. You'd be right. You'd be very right. So the way that I go about producing things is I'll keep it all in this nice little project file here, and it gets expansive, right? I think this is a small one because it's just a mashup, but it's 57 tracks. I don't want to mix 57 tracks individually. It's not going to happen. So what do? Well, I open a mix master template. Wow. And when Ableton decides to load it, you'll see that I've exported each of these individual sections out into conglomerations. So we have our leads, we have our pads, we have our bass. Drums I leave just there because I want to individually mix those. And then everything's in nice one little tight package. And now I can mix it. I can add in some EQ on it, right? So I cut out the lows on the leads, add a little bit of high spike, stuff like that. And then on the master, I just have a little bit more. I've got an ozone that mastered some of it, a little EQ to make it a little bit brighter, and my limiter, yada, yada. Now it sounds thick. And here you go. So you remember the leads before sounded a bit my plugins didn't all load, but you'll hear it here. They sound good. I promise. I think they sound good. So yeah, that is what I normally do when I make these intro projects. Spend a bit of time. I always like to know what I'm starting with and what I'm ending with, and then the mixes kind of fill in between there. I'll work from the front and I'll work from the back, and eventually we find a middle point. It's kind of like bringing railroad tracks together. You start at two ends and then you match them up. And we'll see what's in store for this year's Best Of. I haven't decided yet how we're going to open that, partially because I don't know what tracks are going to be on it, but also with the new, you'll see, it'll all make sense. But yeah, Best Of's right around the corner. Get excited for it. Start thinking of what tracks that you're going to want to vote for. I should do that too. For those of you that don't know, American Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Yes, I'm nailing my dates. And as a result, we have a Black Friday sale going on right now on the Monster Cat website. You can go check that if you want. If you want some merch, I'm wearing a hoodie right now. It's very comfortable. I like it. Is this a shameless promo for Monster Cat merch, apparel, and any other thing that you want to find on our site? Absolutely. But there's a sale going on right now. So this is, if you want something, this is the time. I think we're going to start to wrap it up there. Pretty easy after party today, but just wanted to show you all a little behind the scenes how that works. Yeah, my wallpaper, it's the stock one from Apple. I don't even know what operating system I'm years behind because plugins don't always update to the new operating system. That's about all I got for you. If there's anything pressing that I'm missing, I'm sure that you'll let me know in chat here in just a second, but you don't want to see my kitchen. I need to clean it first. But it is just out there. I'm probably going to go get some food right after this. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the intros sound cool and I'm always really happy with how they turn out, but there's not as much that goes into them as you would think. Most of the work is done by the artist that made the actual song, and I know it's crazy to say that, but I adjust some things, move around, see what fits together, and it's like puzzle pieces. Eventually you'll find one that fits. Tease for next week, I'll do you one better. It's Garage and Breaks. Look forward to that. Gonna be fun. Thanksgiving leftover reveal next week. Maybe, if I still have food. I go on a bender with Thanksgiving food, especially the stuffing. It's good. It's real good. It's real good. Hard Dance is not next week. It's Garage and Breaks. Well, I want to be very clear about that. Set expectations to an appropriate level. After party at family reunion stream. That might get a little crazy. Not this year. Not this year. Maybe if I get bigger, you know, maybe if you really, really want that, but I don't think you do. Someone broke into my garage. And yeah, we're starting near the end of the year again. Start thinking of your best of tracks. It's gonna be a hard pick this year. There were a lot of really solid tracks across all three labels. Very exciting. And as always, see us on Discord. I'm there. Come say hi if you want, or say something else. If you don't want to say hi, you can say hey or hello or good morning. However you want to go about it, you can say that to me there. And I'll see you guys back here, same time, same place next week. I never know which way to point on here. Everything's mirrored. But yeah, MSS, 12 p.m. every Wednesday. Pacific. Call of the Wild, 1 p.m. Pacific. Right after Silk Showcase. And then you get to come here and see me. And we get to have some fun. Who knows what's in store for next week? We'll figure it out then. But yeah, for anybody in the States, have a good Thanksgiving. Everybody else, hope you just have a good week. And we'll see you back here later. All right. Bye. Get out of here. Later. Thanks for coming. Thanks. Okay, we're gonna play us out with this drop. Here it comes. All right. Bye. Do not at me on Discord. I don't do that. I got work to do. I gotta make more mixes like this for all of y'all. Get out of here. Bye.